Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, and welcome to another episode of the live podcast show, Seen and Heard.
Welcome to the live video, audio, show, podcast, stream.
Soon, 3D.
Coming to your houses. Today we have Katrina King with us. Katrina, could you say a few words to our audience? Who are
Yeah,
you and why are you here?
yeah. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I live in Italy where I run a language school for specifically for children and teenagers. I'm originally from Wales, where I had studied languages at university, and I've been in Italy for 12 years.
And how did you become a school owner? Because that's our topic for today, from teacher to school owner. So we want to start with a little story.
I don't think I ever actually declared my intention to be a school owner. It just like life happened, and that's where I ended up. I moved to Italy 12 years ago with a 5-month contract to teach English. So I was coming to this little place that I had never heard of, Sulmona in Abruzzo. So I'd never heard of it, never even heard of Abruzzo. Like we've all heard of Tuscany and we've heard of Rome and Sicily and those places. Abruzzo, I was like, oh, don't know where that is. Okay. Came here for 5 months, and 12 years later, I have bought a house, and I have an Italian partner, and we have a bunch of cats. And so I think I'm pretty stuck here now. And I run a business, so yeah. But the step into school owner came about 4.5 years into my teaching job. So I came to a school for 5 months and I stayed there for 4.5 years. And Dita knows how language schools work, where they will give you a contract from like September to June. And then in the summer, you're like, okay, you're on your own, bye. And so for 4.5 years, I had that. Even though I was living here, every June I was unemployed and then back in every September. And it gets tiring when you either have to try and save the little bit of money that you make during the year to cover your summer, or you have to find other work. And in my town, that was really hard. But it was actually at the 3.5 year point that I told my director of studies that I wanted to leave, because things at the school had just become really, really negative. I wasn't arguing because I would just be in my classroom, like hiding from everybody. But I didn't like the way things were being run, and I tried to speak to her about it, and she gave me all sorts of false promises. And so after another year of nothing changing, I was like, you know what? I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to leave. Because the last 6 months, I was in tears every day before going to work, like every single day. My poor partner would come home from his shift at 2 p.m. and usually I would start at 3 p.m. So we had like a half-hour crossover, and as soon as he got in, he would just find me crying. And so he was like, you have to stop. We'll find something else to do, but you have to stop. And so I did, and I quit, and I had no clue what I was going to do. And a lot of people were like, oh yeah, but at least it's a job, And I was like, yeah, but it's killing me.
So that's how you stopped working there.
Yeah, I can't take this anymore.
Which is, I think that's a good message to start the day. If any of you are
It was
hesitant
hard.
on leaving something you hate.
Yeah, it was hard. It wasn't an easy decision, but I was lucky that my partner was working and we don't have kids. So I was in a privileged position, and Adita knows how we both fight against native speakerism together. But at that point, I knew I would find work because I had the right passport, so that I knew it wouldn't. I knew that there would be something out there waiting for me. I would just have to go and find it.
And was
And
the
it
school
found you.
waiting?
Well, I did about a year of freelancing first. So I was like finding my own students, and like when I left the language school, I didn't tell any of my students what I was doing. I told them that they would see me around in Sulmona, that I wasn't leaving Sulmona, but that I wouldn't be teaching anymore because my ex-boss is a really vindictive person. And so I didn't want her to be able to say, oh, she stole all my students, even though she said it anyway, but hey ho. But they found me. They found me because we live in a small town, and I will always remember I was organizing a Christmas workshop for kids. No, it was a Halloween workshop for kids. And one of the mums of one of my previous students who'd started with me when he was 2.5 years old and is still with me now, 11 years later, she rang me because obviously my phone number was on the flyer. And so she rang me and was like, oh my God, it's you. And I was like, yeah, it's me. She was like, oh, thank God I found you. And so since then, she just moved over to me, because what this director didn't understand is that, yeah, you can talk about how your school has been around for 30, 35 years, but the kids don't come for that. The kids come for the teacher. And so, if you find a good teacher, you really should do everything you can to keep hold of them, not annoy them to the point that they leave. Yeah.
That's a message for all the employers out there.
Yeah, sure.
We're dishing wisdom this morning.
Yeah.
I think we can show your link already. We'll do it a couple of times because Katrina has a goal today, and that's to gather, what did you say, about 200 more followers on Instagram? Because like
In the
on
meantime,
LinkedIn,
it's only 100, so
yeah, let's just make small steps.
if we get 5 in the next
I'm
5
happy.
minutes, that would be lovely. Because we have restrictions on live stream. And for LinkedIn, we had together quite a few people at the start, and you were all really lovely, and it happened pretty fast. So let's see if it can happen for Katrina as well. I know you all have Instagram. I know you all hate it, but I know you're there. So click a follow. Nothing bad will happen.
Please.
I'll keep it up for a bit until we get some nice comments. Please say hi in the comments. I see that you're watching. I can see you. So say hi. Now, you told us the story. You hinted a bit that it was a difficult relationship. It often is when you start something of your own, especially in a small town. So how did you deal with this, with the competition with your previous boss, seeing that you are building something of your own in a town with a limited number of students?
Yeah, it wasn't easy. So like I said, for the first year I freelanced, and that freelancing kind of involved going to people's houses to do lessons there, or having them come to me to do lessons, which I quickly found out was no fun because you have to keep your house super tidy. And I was like, well, that's not me. So, and then also going to another town that's about 45 minutes away, and doing lessons at a school there. And so it was, a year of kind of just going around and just trying to figure things out. And then in the summer, so of that year, I was given the opportunity to buy this little business that the owner had also been a teacher at my previous school, and had left for similar reasons that I did, and set up this school. It was very small. She was just doing it, to earn some extra money. And she only taught adults. And so this opportunity came up, and I spent a few hours on a video chat with my dad, kind of crunching the numbers and figuring out if it was worth it or not worth it. The first offer, I was like, no, it's not worth it. Then she came back with a counter offer, and I was like, okay, we'll do it. And so we did it, but I immediately set about trying to fill it with children rather than adults. Because I had seen at my previous school that the children were not really treated how they should be treated. And that happens at a lot of language schools, where they're kind of used just to fill the holes in the timetable when the adults can't come. Right? So adults can come at certain times. Adults can come maybe at lunchtime when they have a break from work, because in Italy they have like a 2-hour lunch break, or they can come in the evening after work. So after 6:30. So the children in those interim hours are just used to fill the timetable. And when I started teaching at that school, I was not qualified to teach children. I should not have been in with children. And that is the case with a lot of native speaker teachers, because they're hired based on passport alone and thrown in the class. Like, I was thrown in the classroom and the director was like, here are the books, off you go. I was like, that's not teaching, you know? And so I did it.
Doesn't know your knowledge of language just transfer magically to others?
I wish I could just like connect my brain and like download all the language in my head into the student. It would be great. And so this is what a lot of people don't understand, is that a lot of native speakers are untrained, and I've seen it happen. So they've had no formal qualifications, and yet they just walk into a language school. They're like, I'm a native speaker. And the owner's like, here's a job. Or they're trained to teach adults, which is very, very different from teaching children. And so over the course of 4.5 years, it was very, very much trial and error of what would work with kids, what doesn't work with kids. And so that is why when I had the chance to take my own school, I was like, no, we're doing this properly. And I never got any professional development, any training while at my previous school. It was only when I went freelance and I had the time to actually attend courses and do things, because, you know, my boss would get angry if I got sick for a day and she had to cancel lessons. So there was no way I could go off to do any kind of training. And that's when I really realized that what I had been doing in my lessons was not the best thing. I didn't know any better. I was completely ignorant. Obviously, I was just going off what the director told me to do. And I figured, you know what? No, there's a better way to do this, and we need to have a school that gives kids what they need. And so I have now flipped, and I no longer teach adults. It's been 2 years since I said, stop adults, no more adults. I don't want them. I want to focus on children and teenagers, which is another really hard business decision, because you're essentially reducing the number of clients that you can have. You know, and a lot of people will say, yeah, but you can earn more money. And it's like, yeah, okay, but it takes me away from what we actually do. You know, I don't do that. That's a completely different thing. And people they don't get it. They think, oh, you can teach English, you can teach anyone. And it's like, no, it's completely different.
I think we have a comment. Yay! We have somebody saying hi. Hello, Rina. Nice to see you here. Please go follow Katrina. I think you probably have Rina on Instagram already, but if not,
Yeah.
Send it to your aunts and uncles and neighbors.
Everyone.
And
I said, look, you can follow me and put me on mute. I don't care. Just like, just be the number, please.
You care only about the numbers,
Yeah.
nothing else.
It's just a tick box for Instagram. Like,
we want you to do morning grants on Instagram so that we can have like company early mornings. So please, people.
so.
What you were saying about focusing on kids, I think a lot of business owners come to this niching stage at one point or another where they have to say no to certain clients so that they can focus in and offer a more expert service to another type of client.
Yeah.
Did you have to consult people to do that? Was it something that you just felt it was right, or how did it come about that you decided that?
It was just, yeah, I just felt it because I had groups. First of all, the adults that I was teaching were coming in the evening, like 6:30 till 8:30. And I was like, I kind of want to be home. I don't want to be sat in my school at like 8:30 at night. They would always come with an excuse for, why they hadn't done their homework, why they hadn't studied. And it's just like, okay, but the homework is for you. It's not for me. You're not, and I could just see that they weren't really serious and they weren't getting anywhere, which for me was really frustrating because I'm not just a language teacher. I'm a language learner. And when I have people in front of me and I'm like, but you're not doing the bare minimum, it's really frustrating. And then there would be some days where, oh, this happened at work, this happened in my family, and I would be sat there on my own with no students. Nobody had warned me. Nobody had said, oh, we're not coming. And I was like, you know what? It's not working. It's not working. And so maybe this is my sign to say, okay, from next year, no more adults. And I was just like, yeah, I'm done with adults.
Is it easier to work with children or with adults?
You need a lot more energy to work with children. Like, you have to be up there at the front of the class, singing the song, even though you sing really badly, doing the dance moves, even though you've got the grace of an elephant. And the discipline is a lot harder because obviously adults are not going to sit, most adults, there are some, but most adults are not going to sit there talking to each other or arguing during the lesson, right? Most of them are grown up enough to do that before or after, not during. Kids aren't like that. And what you notice with kids is like there will be a day where you don't know what's happened, but for some reason they're all completely hyper. And like you don't even know why. Like it's just like contagious. And so they're just, and you cannot, and you have to be able to like flip and say, okay, this isn't working, let's try something else. And it's not easy. It takes a lot of it takes a lot of years to kind of get used to how to deal. Like right now, 12 years in, I could go into a classroom tomorrow and just give me like blackboard and a piece of chalk and I could do a full lesson and the kids will learn something. But that takes experience, and you can't get that experience either from training. Like you could do all of the teaching young learners courses that you want, but it's the classroom experience that is going to get you to that point. So at the beginning, you rely a lot on materials like flashcards and songs and worksheets and textbooks. But once you get into it, and I think the difference is you really have to love working with kids. You don't have to necessarily love working with adults. You can, as long as you as long as you're clear on what their goal is, what their objective is, and you are helping them get to that point, it's a different kind of energy working with kids. You really, really have to love it. Like, otherwise you will go insane.
Okay, yeah, I understand. It's quite different than with the adults, and we do have a question from our audience about this. It's from my UX. Have you thought about proposing a change in how regular public schools teach languages to kids? This tough one.
I have to go to the Italian government
Yes.
and propose this change.
or maybe have enough followers on Instagram, so they just start watching what you're saying. It could be also a solution.
Yeah. Let's get my Instagram going first. No, I hate the way that languages are taught here in public schools, and it's not because the teachers are non-native speakers or the teachers haven't studied English or anything like that, which is what a lot of people say. Oh, I don't speak English because my teacher wasn't a native speaker. Okay, but you haven't been in school for 20 years, so what have you done since then? Oh, nothing. It's not that. It is the way it's taught. Like I can go into a primary school class and they will still have like the little notebook with grammar rules. I'm like, these kids are like 8, 9, they don't need to learn grammar rules in English, Or a lot of teachers are scared to stray from the textbook because they're scared of things getting out of hand in the classroom. Whereas when I go into a public school, a state school, I'm not scared of getting out of hand. I don't care if they don't like what I do because they don't employ me. Right? I've been hired to run a course and I will run that course how I see fit. But there's more and more pressure on public school and state school teachers. That means they are scared to experiment. What I do takes, at the beginning, it takes a lot of preparation and energy. And so, these poor state school teachers have all of this work and all these extra demands put on them. They don't have the time and the energy to try pivoting and trying something new. So, of course, they're just going to stick to what they know, which is the textbook and the grammar rules. And so in order for there to be a change in public or state schools, teachers would have to feel that support, firstly from their own school, which a lot of schools don't support trying something different. And then from the government. I mean, I've read quotes from the government, from like the ministers of education. Oh, Italians don't speak English well enough. Oh, we'll just put more native speakers in schools. That's not the answer, and there needs to be more hours dedicated to it. Like when they're younger, when they're 4, 5, 6, they get maybe 1 hour a week of English, if they're lucky. And then it goes up gradually to 3 hours a week. It's not enough. It's not enough. They should be doing like an hour a day. And not necessarily like that hour a day could literally just be singing a song. It could be reading a story. You don't have to have like a super English C2 native speaker. Oh, look at us. No, it could even be someone who just really likes English, who passes that passion onto the kids, but there's just not enough of them in schools. And it just makes me really sad that the government here still hasn't understood that these kids need English for the future. And so it's a really hard change to make as well, because the teachers feel completely unsupported. So why would they do that?
Okay, but it needs to start. Change needs to start with something. So when they hear this interview, I think they will start thinking about it.
Yeah, there's a great young lady on Instagram. She goes by the tag I Do Teaching Things. She's Georgia and she's Italian, and she does a lot of she runs like courses and things to try and get teachers to try something new in their class. Like she regularly runs like a 30-day she calls it the 30-day quarantine, where every day teachers get an email with an idea of an activity to do in class. Because it's just like, maybe just try one thing rather than trying to overhaul the whole system, which is like a really big, scary idea. Just try to do one thing different, see if it works. It didn't work, that's okay. You try something else. It worked, great. Keep going, But a lot of them don't know like how how to change things. Also because they feel like they probably came into the job really young, full of energy, and like, oh yes, great, I'm going to teach English. And then after years of bureaucracy and admin and being in a school, they're like, just defeated.
It's also outdated theories of learning, isn't it? I mean, if you're not going to listen to all the studies that say that play is so important for kids, then
Oh my gosh, don't get me started on play. Here they don't even leave their classrooms like during the whole school day. They will
for
just,
safety reasons.
I don't know. I don't know. So when I was in school in the UK, we would move. It's the class that moved room, right? You would go to this part of the school for your English class, here for Spanish, there for science, and so the students would move. Here, the class group has a room, and they stay in there from 20 past 8 till 20 past 1. Their break is in the classroom. The only time they get to leave their classroom is if they need to go to the toilet. And I'm like, you can't have kids sat at desks for like 5-6 hours a day. Like, we have studies that show that movement after learning something helps your brain like absorb that information. You can't just expect them to sit at their desk for 5-6 hours a day and keep being active participants in their education.
Yeah. They're still allowed to use the toilet and go there, are they?
Well, if the teacher says yes.
Oh, okay. There's a loophole in this system that we can exploit then. Okay. Group going to the toilet. Just walk around a bit.
Yeah, like it's just crazy to me, like how school here is really not set up for the students.
We have a question from Adrian King.
That's my dad.
Okay. I was wondering about that surname.
I wonder. It's like, so it's an hour earlier. They're in the UK. So I was like, you have to be up at 7:30, and they're retired, so they don't usually get up that early.
Well done, Adrian. Thank you. He's asking, how do you judge that you're doing a good job by the children?
Oh, Dad, you could have asked an easier question. So we have the syllabus, and I build the syllabus around the Cambridge kind of recommendations for what kids should be learning at each age. Right. So if I've got a group of kids who are like 5-6 years old, we're not going to be talking to them about work. We might introduce the idea of jobs, because then you can talk about the family. And so it's built around that. And obviously each age has target language that they're expected to acquire. But I think the best way that you're doing a good job by the children is that you can see their progress, and an experienced teacher can see if a student is progressing or not. Like, we know if they're going forward or if they're stuck, which is what was very frustrating about the adults, because I could see they were stuck. And so yeah, you have, but also we don't just teach the syllabus. Like, kids come in and they just want to tell you everything. Like something happened with their cousin on the weekend, and they just want to tell you. And so it's not just about okay, this is today's lesson, we're learning this. The kids have to build that relationship with a teacher in order to learn. And it's about more than just hitting the target language. It's about making that emotional connection. And it's really hard to see when they're little, because they don't tend to be as spontaneous with their English. But as they go through then the steps, like I mentioned the kid earlier who I've had since he was 2.5, he's now 13. And, you can see that he's like miles ahead of his, the people his age who haven't had the opportunity to study extra English. And honestly, when they just come in and they're happy, and sometimes like the parents will send us videos. Like the other day, a mum sent me a video of a kid who was singing in English at home. And during the summer, I got another video from a mum where her little girl, who was 6 years old, is just having a conversation with herself. And it seems in mostly like made up language, but every now and again they were like English words. So it was like, it definitely wasn't Italian. It was her version of English, and she was just like talking to herself while she was coloring. And then her twin sister was telling her to shut up, but she was just, going. And every now and again, these random English words would come out, and it's things like that when the parents, they're happy, they can see a difference in it, in their kids as well.
Just in the defense of teachers of adults, you also need to love hearing about people's cousins.
Oh no, I felt like part kind of therapist, really. And it was one of the reasons I had to stop individual students. Because there would be certain ones who would come every week, and there was always a problem. Something had always happened, and you're just kind of like, can we just focus here? No, okay.
That happens also with children.
No, they just like, sometimes they'll come in and something's like happened at school and they'll want to tell you about it. But they just want to tell you at the beginning because you're like an important figure in their life, right? Especially if they've been coming to you for years. And I think it's really important when you're teaching children that they know that you're a safe person and that they can tell you, that they can speak to you, because there's enough adults in their lives telling them to be quiet. And so, I think it's really important that you listen to the kid and then just redirect back to the work.
So you prefer, Katrina, I saw a snail today to I hate my boss, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's like, that's awesome. What did it look like? Because then with the kids, you can take that snail and you can use it to revise things. Okay, what color was it? How big was it? Where was it going? Like,
You can do that with the boss, Katrina.
I'm just not interested.
Just use the same questions, it works.
What color is your boss? What was he wearing? Oh. Yeah. And so some of them can be like the adults really draining. And I'm a very empathetic person, and so I soak up a lot of that energy. And there were some students where like I would end the lesson just completely drained and be like, what happened? Like, what happened to me? It was 1 hour and I'm just like ready to go lie down on the couch in a dark room. And so yeah.
We're back to the Instagram. If we don't have 1,000 people by the end of this day, I'm going to take a stick and I'm going to do this to everyone on LinkedIn who liked the post, and it didn't transfer to numbers. So,
like I said, you can stick me on mute. It's not a problem. I won't be offended. I won't even know.
Okay. You talked about all of your dreams and how you noticed, that you loved working with kids and how they weren't getting the right attention and the right care and all of that. But in all of that, I heard me, right? Former teacher, now school owner, one person doing all of that. It sounds like a lot. So did you have any help? How did you go through all of that?
Yeah,
alone?
I had some help at the beginning from my sister. So I had actually made my sister move to Italy with me. So I'm not sure if she or my parents are happy about that now, because 11 years later, so she's been here 11 years, she now runs a cat sanctuary. So I'm not sure that it was the best idea for her future. But yeah, I made her move over here. my ex-boss had a second school in another town, so she went there to work. And so when she actually left that school before I left my school. And then at the beginning, she was helping me, with these organizing at first the workshops that we were doing for the kids, and then helping me with online lessons, because she wasn't living in my town, so she could do some online lessons. Helping me with like the ideas and doing some lessons and stuff like that. But then when I moved to a bigger premises and she decided to dedicate herself to the crazy cat lady life out in the countryside, I got another teacher who is still with me now. She's been with us almost 3 years. It should be 3 years in February, I think. She is not a native speaker. So, I could have gone the easy route and found a native speaker. Although I have to be honest, the native speakers in my town are not qualified teachers. So I could have easily found a native speaker who could have come in and done some lessons, and, I could have done what my ex-boss did. I could just put them in the classroom and be like, here's the textbook, off you go. I was like, no, I want someone who has actually studied languages and who wants to be a teacher, not just because she's ended up in Italy and needs to earn some extra money. So she's a local teacher, not from my town, but from like a town just down the road. And I think she's wonderful, but some parents have an issue that she's not a native speaker, and that's a really, really hard thing for us to fight back against, because there is this mentality that you have to have a native speaker, and it is expected in private language schools that the teachers are all native speakers. What people don't understand is that private language schools have no checks on them. I could hire someone to write, as long as they've got the right to work in Italy. I could hire anyone off the street, and be like, ooh, look at my wonderful native speaker. Whereas when someone has to work in a state school, they have to have this degree, that degree, this certification, this training, and they have to be constantly updated, and they have to be constantly following training courses. Private language schools have no controls on that. Like, there's nobody coming from the Ministry of Education to check what degree your teachers have, because it's private. It's the private sector, so it could be anyone. And that's what a lot of parents don't understand. And it's why a lot of them just, the first question they ask is, oh, is the teacher a native speaker?
So this is quite a big problem everywhere in the world, from what I hear.
Yeah. Weirdly, it's not a problem. I don't know if Edita would agree with me, but when I was in the UK studying languages, I never encountered this idea of only native speakers can teach. Like, all my teachers at high school, there was one native French woman. Everyone else was a non-native. At university, we had a mix of native and non-native teachers, and I just never questioned it, because my dream was to become a French and Spanish teacher, right? So if I had that dream, why would I ever go against myself and be like, oh, you're not good enough because you're not a native speaker? Like, it was just not a thing until I came to Italy, and that's when I noticed it, and I was like, what is this?
I think we don't see it in Croatia either, because we don't really have native speakers coming to teach us.
Yeah.
So it's not something you think.
This is how I counter it. I'm like, but people in Poland and Germany, Norway, they all speak great English. Native speakers definitely aren't there because it's too cold. We want the sun. So there's no way Poland is full of native speakers.
I think you kind of illustrated the issue when people are not happy with the public education. and they don't understand why it's
Yeah.
not working, they'll find the easy answer. It must be that. But
Is-
that's not it. It's the rigidity of the system. And then in private schools, you have the freedom. So
Yeah.
they connect that, this is what's causing the better language learning, that it's the teacher and not the whole system
Exactly.
that's set up
And
differently.
in my school, we have small groups of like 6 kids. In state schools, they have 20, 25 kids in a class. They get 1 hour. It's like, obviously, it's not going to work, especially if the teacher is too scared to try something new. Like in my school, I'm like, go do experiment, have fun with the kids. That's the most important thing, is that like all the kids come to our school super happy. They're like running inside, not thinking, oh God, now I have to go to English. No, they're like running in, they're telling Vanessa everything, they're telling me everything, they're going straight into their classrooms, like not even saying bye to their mom and dad, just like, because it's their space. And I think that's a really important factor of building like a kid's school as well, is that it feels like it's their space. My whole thing right now is decorated for Halloween. And we put if they want to put something up on the wall, we'll put it up on the wall. It is their space to be in, which is really important.
Darko unmuted himself.
Yeah. I thought you wanted to say something, but children obviously love it. But do you have any challenges on how to promote your schools for parents to get their children into the school? You said it's quite a small town, and when you started, it was also something new. Are there any challenges with visibility in the community?
Yeah, it's really hard. Also because I've avoided using the cliches of red, white, and blue colors, British flag, American flag, in my school. That was the choice. Actually, this logo was chosen by the previous owner, but it was something that I wanted to continue with these colors because, like, the red, white, and blue, the British flag, the US flag, that's not how I see what I do being represented. That doesn't represent me. We go deeper than just the cultural stereotypes that a lot of schools spout. Like, if you come to my school, you won't see any red buses, black taxis, Big Ben, the Queen. If anything, you might see a corgi, but only because that's Welsh, that's short and Welsh like me. So, that's the only thing that I would take. And it's not about me imposing my culture on the kids, right? When they continue with this whole British flag, US flag, the focus is very much on, I'm learning English so I can speak to native speakers. These kids in the future are going to have to speak to, people from all different countries. They're going to have to speak to a colleague in France or Germany or China or, wherever. It's not just about learning English so that I can pretend to be British. Like, that's not what it's about. It's about learning English so I can learn to express myself to others, outside of Italy. And so that actually makes my visibility harder, because when someone sees a British flag or a US flag, those colors, they're like, English school, right? We have 2 other schools in my town. One is actually called the English School. The other is called the Cambridge School of English. The owner of the English school is Canadian. Her logo is a mishmash of the British flag and the US flag. She's Canadian. The owner of the Cambridge School is born in America. And his logo is like the English lions, the British flag. Every now and again, he'll put up a British bulldog. I'm just like, why are you pretending to be something you're not. I never pretend to be something I'm not. Like, I am very much authentically me. When parents come in and they ask, I will say that teacher for that class is not a native speaker. And so it does harm our visibility, because it's not obvious at the beginning what or who we are or what we do. But I would much rather that than play off cultural stereotypes of, from where I'm born, just to make a quick buck. Because, I'm the only actual British language school owner in my town, born and raised in Wales, in the UK, and yet I don't use the British flag. And yet the other two people who do are not British. I'm just like, nah, this is not me. That goes against my values. And so, yeah, that does make it harder for us to kind of get it out there. And most of our visibility, I would say, comes from word of mouth, from happy parents.
Yeah, so you didn't make it easy on you with this strategy.
Why
Why?
would I do that? No, I
It
don't
can
want
be hard. Why would it be easy?
no.
But regarding these flags and symbols, I guess people are looking for them, and they are sure that there is something British or American in there. So this is why the owners of these schools use these.
Yeah, it's easy. I get why they do
No,
it.
it needs to be hard. Okay, why would it be
I
easy?
get why they do it. It's just I come from a languages background. So when I was learning French and Spanish and I studied it at university, it never occurred to me to pretend to be French or Spanish. Like, that was never my goal. My goal was never to be seen as a native speaker. My goal was just, I love languages, so I'm going to learn them and I'm going to speak them and I'm going to go off and live my life. Like, it was never about pretending to be something I'm not. And now I cannot pretend to be something I'm not. Like, I am British, but that's not why I'm a good teacher. I'm a good teacher because I love languages, because I've been trained, because I continue to follow trainings, and to reduce my ability to teach down to where I was born, or to reduce Edita's ability to teach down to where she was born, it makes me really angry, because I think it's really dehumanizing, and I don't want that to pass on to our students. Like, if students know that all the teachers in the school are native speakers, they're constantly comparing themselves to that person, even like subconsciously. They will grow up and be like, oh, I'm never good enough because I'm not a native speaker, right? And they will get all these certificates and they will do all of these courses, but they'll never feel good enough. If I have a kid that comes to me and is like me, and I can think of at least two in my school who want to do it, and they're like me and they want to become languages teachers in the future, right? Because I knew that was my dream from when I was 11. As soon as I had like my first French classes, I was like, ooh, this is it for me. And so I knew I wanted to be a languages teacher. If someone turned around and told me, oh, you can't do it because you're not a native speaker, that would have broken my heart. And so how could I do that to my kids? Like, I have to show them examples of non-native speakers doing things and being successful, despite everything that's up against them.
That's really beautifully said. People don't understand how absurd it is sometimes, but it's like saying, Croatia is the land where photography was first invented, and Darko is a Croatian photographer. Don't take the French guy.
Yeah.
Only the Croats can take pictures.
Yeah, exactly. Or like only Italians can cook pizza. I mean, luckily my partner's at work, so he's not listening to this. But my yoga.
You need to consult with Italians for answer this thing.
Yeah. But like, my yoga instructor is not from India. Does that mean he can't teach me yoga? No. He's done all the training. He's and he continues, and I know that he continues to improve, and he's always off doing courses here and there, and to make things better. But what, I turn around and say, yeah, but you're not from India.
It's a big question of what native means also. I bet as a Welsh person, people assume that you are English and don't think about the difference between the two.
Yes. Oh, where are you from? Wales. Oh, that's in England. No. No. Or like when one of the mums came in, she was like, oh, at nursery they've been learning the Italian national anthem. It'd be really cute if you could do the English one. Nope. Nope, don't know it. I'll do the Welsh one if you want, but I'm not doing the English one.
Do you think you would have the same results with the Welsh flag, even though it's where English is natively spoken as well?
I think it would maybe get people more curious. Yeah. I said, if I'm going to put a flag up at my school, it will be the Welsh one. Also because it's just really cool. It's like a big red dragon.
I mean, it's a missed opportunity.
Yeah, like with your crosses and your light. No, get a dragon.
Maybe put a dragon in the book.
Yeah. Maybe I could be, I'll just be like, I'll put my crown on, I'll carry my dragon around, and
people are scanning the code, just so you know. So you're getting a few followers for sure.
I hope so.
And you
really
mentioned the crown. Sorry, I didn't hear you.
It's really hard to get to 1,000 people. Like, you have no idea.
We have an idea because it was a couple of days of work for 170. So maybe a week or two we should repeat this.
Yeah,
and you need to put a crown on. So you mentioned it already. We need to see you with your crown, and we need to hear the crown story, because this is only somebody who teaches kids can have an idea like this.
Yes. I think it's very well on my head. The crown is because although I love teaching, I do have to remember that I run a business, and so there's a whole side of admin that needs to be done. And one of the things that just I don't even know why I just have a lot of resistance towards doing are my invoices. And I just, oh God, every time I have to sit down and do my invoices, it's like the soul just gets like sucked out of me. And I don't even know why, because really they don't take that long. But like yesterday I was doing them. And so I was like, I need to make this more fun somehow. I need to, like, I don't know, change my mindset on this, change how I'm thinking. And so I was like, I'm going to get a crown, and I'm just going to wear it to do my invoices, so that when I do my invoices, I feel like the queen that I am. Taking care of business and doing what needs to be done to help her little queendom grow. And so I have my crown. I have a special activation playlist that, gets my energy going. And I sit there and I do my invoices. Yeah. So that is the story of the crown.
I think that reflects your teaching philosophy as well. And I think a lot of the teachers watching or listening know that, the business side of things is not quite as fun sometimes as the teaching part. So
it's really hard. And I have followed, I've paid thousands of euros for like business coaching and courses. And even with women who say that they don't do like the bro marketing and the bro business and stuff, and yet I still always felt like I was being pushed to be someone I'm not. Like, there's a lot of emphasis on, oh, you're the CEO now, you're the business owner, and I'm like, yeah, but I still just want to be in the classroom with the kids. And it's taken me probably 2 years to be like, actually, it's okay if I am in the classroom. It's okay. This is my business. This is how I want to run it. And like, I felt like I was being pushed into doing something that it wasn't for me. Like, being a CEO, sat in an office, not interacting is not my thing. I want to be there. I want to be with the kids, and I want to speak to the parents, and I want to understand their problems and give them advice about, learning English. And I can't do that if I'm locked away in an office.
It might be a bit harder to get 1,000 people on Instagram that way, but it's worth it, I believe.
Yeah, no, it is. And I think that, so I like, since owning a business, I've burnt out like every year, maybe even like twice a year. And I think that a lot of that was because I was trying to be someone who I'm not, because that's what I was being told to do. I was being told to do this and to do that. And now this year I kind of come to the point where it's like, nah, I'm just gonna be with the kids and have fun. So that's the important thing for me.
I think that's a great message.
Yeah.
Go and have some fun with it. So
Yes.
you don't have to write 360 posts a day and dance on TikTok. Is that what you're saying? I think that's what people want to hear.
Yeah, I don't do TikTok. I don't do TikTok, but because I do go against kind of the trends of having a native speaker and the British flag and all of that, that actually gives me material for posts on Instagram. And actually, most of my posts that get most interactions are the ones where I speak out against native speakerism. And I show how harmful that can be to students. And there will always be some people who don't get it. So this year we lost 3 students who went to one of the other competition schools because all their teachers are native speakers. Now, the fact that I know their teachers are not qualified to teach kids doesn't matter because they're a native speaker. And when that happened, my teacher actually said to me, she was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't come back to the school because you're losing clients because of me. I was like, no, what it means is we have to fight harder to get our message out there.
With a crown on.
With a crown on. And yeah, I still have yet to get my emotional support scepter, but I'll get it.
It's coming, I'm sure.
Yeah.
We can use it to poke people who are not following. So mentally we're doing that. Please scan. This is your final call. You have to do it.
Yeah. But also, I have to say, like, one of the things that helped me the most this year was being in the DSB community with you, Adita, and the other wonderful people in there, because it's somewhere that, because being a language school, being a business owner can be very lonely, like, your family and friends support you, but they don't really understand unless they run their own businesses, so they don't really understand what's happening. And sometimes you just want like a judgment-free place where you can go and rant about something that's happened, and you know that the people in there have got your back, and they're gonna support you and help you through it. And the DSB community with Mary is definitely where I found that this year.
Community is important in general, but not a lot of our guests get their dads to comment, I have to say.
To be fair, I didn't ask him to comment. I asked him to get up at 7:30 in the morning to watch.
Very supportive family. Love that.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, we have perhaps another minute. If somebody has a question or a comment left, there is a bit of a delay, so we'll wait for a bit to see if there's anyone that wants to say hi. Otherwise, have we missed something? Is there something you would like to talk about?
I don't remember now. I don't think so.
Darko is too tired to ask
Yeah.
about food in Wales.
No, I'm not.
Italy.
No, I'm not. I was going to ask when you pull my tongue. Okay, I was going to ask why aren't the schools promoting the food like English, US food to get more pupils there? So why is it with the flags and culture?
Yeah, just put like a giant hot dog or something on the
Hot dog.
logo.
Okay.
No,
Pineapple pizza.
yeah, Italians have oh gosh, they have a very, very poor opinion of British and US food. Whenever one of my students like goes to the UK for a holiday or a study holiday or something, the first thing they say when they come back is, "Oh my god, the food was terrible." It's like they're the only thing they talk about when they come back. I'm like, yeah, but what did you learn? Oh, nothing, but the food was awful. Okay.
I think there is something in that to just show for the other schools who are promoting the British way of life
This is what you
to
stand
the
for.
Italians. Do you really want to be this way? Look how you're going to eat.
Yeah, no, like so. My partner and I went to the UK in 2019 for a holiday because it was my nan's birthday, and he enjoys the roast dinner, the traditional Sunday roast dinner, but that's because he likes to eat a lot. So he was like piling up everything on there, and he's learned from my mum how to make curry, but obviously curry is Indian. It's not even though we stole it and like we steal a lot of things. But apart from that,
He was just being polite. Let's be honest.
I don't know. He seemed to enjoy it. He cleaned his plate. So, although he does, like I say, he eats anything and everything. So it's not really like. It's not really a good example of. But yeah, he does make curry here in Italy now and again, which is like for an Italian is like huge.
I think it's a good comparison with the stereotypes and ideas we have. So maybe you can test that. Yeah, put a pizza with pineapple on your logo. See how Italian people react.
Well, it would get them talking, right? It'd be like,
For
oh,
sure.
And for Italians, with the so big variety of seafood, perhaps some fish and chips. Yeah, this could work also.
yeah. When they do eat fish and chips, they seem to like that. They seem to like it. So,
Not a good idea. Okay.
although, yeah, I'm vegetarian, so I just have the chips.
With vinegar. We need to clarify that to people
Yeah.
because that's shocking for me.
What?
No, if you're in
You
Wales,
sprinkle the vinegar on baked chip?
either vinegar or if you're in Wales, curry sauce.
That sounds better.
Oh,
Okay, so that does sound better.
it's so good. But yeah, no, chips with vinegar. It's like, yeah, that's
Weird.
normal. Like, how can you eat chips without vinegar?
I have household discussions about this on a daily basis.
Yeah, chips and vinegar, and then you get like a piece of white bread, like you put your chips in the bread and you make a sandwich.
We have a comment from your dad.
Oh God.
Chicken in carbonara.
Yeah, so my dad almost caused a diplomatic problem when he was talking to my partner Jacobo about how mum had made carbonara, but she hadn't used the right kind of cream, she hadn't used the right kind of meat, and they put chicken in it. So, yeah.
It's an insult.
Yeah, he was offended.
So you want the native speakers to come and do these atrocities in your country, Italians?
Exactly.
Think about it.
Yeah, international incidents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could just call the other schools to have joint food day
We
to
could have
show
like
the
a
Italians.
kind of MasterChef style.
Darko is coming to photograph, so I think you have
We have the evidence.
you have all the ingredients to make it happen. So we
Yeah.
support you.
Yeah, I'll get on that.
We'll be at the Italian table, probably.
Probably the safest. Yes.
All right. Apart from chin and carbonara, we don't seem to have a lot of other
They've
comments.
probably just been shocked and they're like, oh my gosh.
Oh, there's another one. It tasted great. Adapt and adopt.
Yeah.
Fusion is great
It's fusion, right? Yeah, it's fusion.
when done properly.
Yeah, well, Jacob was like, it's fine, just don't call it carbonara because it's not carbonara.
Give it a different name, yeah.
Exactly.
Great. Katrina, it's been a real pleasure having you on.
Thank you. It's been fun.
You and your crown.
Yep.
We hope that we got you a few followers, and we hope to see you live on Instagram soon.
Oh, I hope so. It's like the dream now to be able. Because the thing is, I used to be able to do it. It never mattered in the past how many followers you had. Then in August they were like, oh, 1,000. You know, it's like this arbitrary number, kind of like an arbitrary passport of where you're from makes you capable of teaching. You know, you don't have on Instagram, you don't have anything to say until you have 1,000 people ready to listen.
Start a movement, Katrina. We'll all be wearing crowns quite soon, and
It's worth it, Eddie. I'm still waiting for you to get yours.
yeah, I'll get to that sometime soon. Maybe it's not a crown for me, you know? It has to feel authentic. I still haven't thought of what it is. Maybe, I don't know, some jewels on my headphones or something. I'll have to think about it.
It's whatever makes you feel happy.
We'll see. Thank you for coming. Thank you for saying yes to this.
Me.
And we hope to see you soon on Instagram or LinkedIn. Or LinkedIn has fewer restrictions.
Yeah, I'm
Think
not
about
as
it.
active about. So what happens with LinkedIn is like I'll get a wave of inspiration and I'll like bang out a load of posts and then I'll disappear for like a month and then I'll come back angry at something else and bang out a load of posts and then disappear. It's like that's what happens.
You could do it also on live show. So
I could try.
Wednesday rants with a queen.
Yeah. Exactly. I do have a lot to rant about, so it's okay.
Any final words for all the lovely people in the comments and watching silently as well today?
Well, thank you all for watching. And I think that one of the most important things is if you are an independent business owner or you want to, you know, move out of teaching into something of your own, is to find community, find support. We are out there, you know, there's not a lot of us, but we are there. And I think it's just really good having someone who can support you and help you on that journey, someone who's perhaps done it and so knows the highs and lows of what it takes.
Lovely words to end.
Rick, thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you guys for having me.
Bye, everyone.
Yes.
Bye, Adrian.
Bye.